And welcome back. We're just about ready to go. Spencer Howard almost done with his warm-up tosses as the Cal Poly Mustangs are wearing the white pants with the green jerseys today, the white numerals with the gold stripes around them. Take a look at the defense. Scott Ogren will play first base for the Mustangs. Cal Marinkontz will be at second. Down the line at the hot corner at third will be Michael Sanderson. Brent Binning will flash the leather at shortstop. Josh George will be in left. Alex McKenna will roam the grounds in center. And Bradley Beasley will be in right field. The catcher is Nick Meyer. He just sent it on down to second base. The Mustangs throw it around, and it'll end up in what they hope are the capable hands of the redshirt sophomore Spencer Howard. Tall right-hander, 6'3", 205 pounds, from Templeton High School. Yep, he's just a stone's throw away. As this young man, just like Eric Ullman last night, will work off the first base edge of the pitcher's rubber. As Loyola Marymount will send up Phil Caulfield, Nick Sogard, and Billy Wilson at the minimum here in the top of the first inning. First pitch by Howard, misses a little bit down and in, and we're underway at 6:01 here at Baggett Stadium. Game two. Game one went to the Lions last night, 4-0. Got all those runs in the top of the eighth inning. 1-0 pitch, and there's a strike. And the count 1-1 to Caulfield. Spencer Howard, 6'3", 205-pound redshirt sophomore. He's draftable, and there's a lot of scouts here with the radar guns out already and the video cameras taking a look at this young man. 1-1 pitch, and that's down and in for ball two, 2-1. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10 right here in front of me. Actually 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 at minimum scouts are taking a look at Spencer Howard. And that pitch fouled back and out of play. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And for good reason. He's broad-shouldered. That's why Tom Eager liked him when he came to Cal Poly. He didn't come to Cal Poly to play baseball. He came as a student and decided to walk on and give it a go. Tom Eager liked his build, and he could throw it around the upper 80s. But now he's got it up to 92 to 95 with his fastball, more in the 92, 93 range, as he misses low and away for ball 3, 3-2. But he came as a student. He ends up a ball player, and he's going to be drafted probably reasonably high if things go well for him this year. 3-2 pitch, a little tapper foul. And the count remains full. Leadoff man up, Phil Caulfield for Loyola Marymount. An on-base percentage of .516 for this young man. That's almost a cartoon number. Caulfield's batting .392. And there he swings and hits it reasonably well. McKenna racing back, still going back on his horse, and he makes the catch over the shoulder about 5-10 feet short of the warning track. Good running catch by McKenna in center field. Took at least 2, probably 3 bases away from Phil Caulfield. Well, unlike last night when Eric Ullman got one ground ball after another, Spencer Howard gets a flyout to open the ball game. And that'll bring up Nick Sogard. Spencer Howard this year has now pitched in 10 innings, counting that out there, and he's allowed 10 hits. That pitch back to the screen in the count 1-0. He has struck out 11 and walked only 1. He has not hit anybody either. This is his first start of 2017. He started 2 games last season, got a win in one of them against UC Irvine. But this is his first start. He's appeared in 5 games, all out of the bullpen, and he does have 1 save. He saved the Tuesday game against Santa Clara. 1 ball, no strikes. Howard delivers, jammed him, and Sogard fouls it back and out of play. So 1-1. At Templeton High School, he was the Tribune North County Player of the Year. Seems like forever ago. 1-1 pitch. Changed speeds. Misses inside for ball 2. 2-1. There's that critical 1-1 pitch. Nobody on base and it's early. 2-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball. Late on it, and he fouls it out of play to the left side. Sogard, a left-handed hitter. He's a switch hitter, actually, but he's batting left-handed right now. 5 of the first 6 batters, just like yesterday, about left-handed for Loyola Marymount. 2-2 pitch, and look out, almost got him, but it missed inside for ball 3, 3-2. So the second straight 3-2 count for Spencer Howard against a Lion hitter. Here's the payoff. And swinging a hard 1-hopper, 2-hopper. Nice gloves by Marinkontz. He throws to first, and Sogard is out. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Billy Wilson. So Spencer Howard, with all these scouts taking notes, they got the radar guns out. Some of those radar guns were equipped with video cameras as well. Some of these scouts, too, are also using their cell phones to video him. First pitch, swing and a miss. First strike one, 0-1. I counted 17, but if I had to make a guess, there's probably about 20 scouts here right now. 0-1 pitch. Oh, he changed speeds on that. He missed high and outside for ball one, 1-1. That one almost mesmerized me. He threw a fastball in the low 90s, then came back with an off speed. That was probably in the low to mid 70s. There's the fastball, hits the outside corner. First strike two, 1-2. Billy Wilson at the plate. Here's another guy with a gaudy on-base percentage of .459. Sometimes you just ignore the batting average and you go to the on-base percentage. That pitch is outside, 4-2, 2-2. The whole left side of the Cal Poly infield and outfield took about 3 steps towards the dugout, thinking that was going to be a called strike three. But it's 2-2. 2 outs, nobody on. That pitch in there for a called strike three. That's that hard cutter that Teddy Walker was telling me about. And he threw a good one to Billy Wilson to get him looking to end the top of the first inning. After 1/2 inning, it is Loyola Marymount nothing and Cal Poly coming up. This is Mustang Baseball from Learfield. Well, let's see what the Cal Poly Mustangs can do in the bottom half of the first inning to try to get ahead of the curve, as they will face left-hander Brenton Arriaga. And this young man can pitch. He's a lefty, and he's not going to overpower anybody based on the scouting report that I read. We'll get to that in just a little bit, as the Mustangs will send up Alex McKenna, Nick Meyer, and Bradley Beasley here in the bottom of the first inning. Spencer Howard, easy enough, got a fly out to deep center, a hard bounce out to second, and then a strikeout looking to end the top of the first inning and retired the side in order. 1-2-3. So left-hander Brenton Arriaga has finished up his warm-up tosses. Young man is 2-0 with an ERA of 0.93 over 19 1/3 innings. He's only allowed 12 hits. His opponent's batting average is 174. Now, Alex McKenna, for the first time this season, will bat leadoff. The previous 13 games, he was the number 3 hitter. And the first pitch in there for a strike and the count 0-1. And the odd thing with him batting leadoff, when you look at the situational stats for Alex McKenna, when he leads off an inning in the first 13 games of the season, he reached base 7 of 10 times that he has led off an inning. That including one time last night. Takes a breaking ball for ball one and the count 1-1. So even though he was batting third through the first 13 games of the season, when he did lead off an inning, he reached base 7 of 10 times. So why not? Put him in the leadoff spot, and here he is today. 1-1 pitch, bottom of the first inning. Arriaga delivers, changed speeds, and that dipped in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. As scouting report on Arriaga is he throws between 86 and 88. Has a good changeup, loves to use it away, even though that one was about belt high, but it had some dip to it. Here's the 1-2 pitch, big windup, and McKenna swings, and he pops it up infield. Shortstop Sogard is under it, and he makes the catch on the dirt. So McKenna pops out to open the bottom of the first inning for the Mustangs.
Catcher number 26, Nick Meyer.
And now to bring up Nick Meyer. Nick Meyer had himself a single and a triple in last night's game. Now has a 6-game hitting streak. Well, he really crowds that plate from the right side. First pitch to him, and that's a little bit inside for ball 1, 1-0. The inside line of the right-handed batter's box, Nick Meyer's toes are almost touching it. He's all the way to the back of the box as well. No score, bottom of 1. 1 out, nobody on. 1-0 pitch to Nick Meyer. Off the end of the bat, and he cues it with some English to the first baseman. And Jamie Smart scoops it up, takes it to the bag himself, and there are 2 outs. 3 unassisted. Always like keeping score. Miss having my daughter in the booth to keep score. Had her doing that for a couple of years. And as Bradley Beasley will come up. When I talked about Alex McKenna, how he has been the number 3 hitter for the first 13 games of the year. Well, Bradley Beasley, he was the leadoff hitter for 12 of the first 13 games of the year, so now he's hitting third. He swings at the first pitch and lofts it into right field, and going towards the line is Nico Decolati to make the catch. And Cal Poly's retired very quickly in the bottom of the first inning, 1-2-3. No score after 1. We'll be back in a minute. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. Now with Rush playing in the background, that's exactly what we did through the first inning. A very speedy top and bottom half, 6 up, 6 down between the two teams. As Spencer Howard just throws his last warm-up toss, and Nick Meyer sends it on down. And Cal Poly will throw it around. It'll end up back with Spencer Howard. Special delivery from the third baseman, Michael Sanderson, as we're ready to go here in the top of the second inning. Jamie Smart will lead off, then Steven Chavez and Brandon Shear. Jamie Smart, 6'4", 230-pound left-handed swinger. He fills up that left-handed batter's box. As Howard misses with the first pitch and the count 1-0. I found out before the game today that Nick Meyer, the catcher, is calling the pitches for the Mustangs. Swing and a miss for strike 1, 1-1, which totally caught me off guard. Because I was mentioning during the broadcast last night that Larry Lee calls the pitches from the dugout. He's been doing that for the past 4 or 5 years. And here's a bouncer towards first, fielded by Ogren. He underhands to Howard covering, who puts his toe on the first base bag, and that's the first down of the inning. And now Steven Chavez comes up. Larry Lee has always called the pitches, either that or his pitching coach, but Larry Lee took that over from Jason Kelly about 5 years ago. While Thomas Eager had some input when he was here, Larry Lee still had the final say on calling pitches. As that first pitch is in for a strike and the 0-1 to Steven Chavez. But right now, catcher Nick Meyer is calling the game. You'll notice if you're here with the radio that he does not look into the dugout for a pitch on what to call. As that pitch misses for ball 1, 1-1. Larry Lee said it's the first time since he was the head coach at Cuesta that he's had a catcher call his own game. He's been at Cal Poly for 15 years. He came from Cuesta to here. 1-1 pitch is outside for ball 2, 2-1. And that is the highest praise possible for Nick Meyer, believe me. When you've got a coach as well respected as Larry Lee, who knows the game as well as anybody in the country at the collegiate level, that pitch is up and in for ball 3, 3-1. And he's allowing a sophomore catcher to call pitches. There is no higher praise that Nick Meyer can receive from his head coach. 3-1 pitch, and that's fouled back into the net. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. I guess what you could say, ultimately, maybe the pitcher calls the game because he can shake anytime he wants if he doesn't like when Nick Meyer drops down. But Eric Ullman last night, he shook a few times, but not much. Count full again. Spencer Howard delivers with 1 out, nobody on, a little tapper foul. And the count remains full. No score, top of 2. We've been here before. Played 7 scoreless last night before LMU scored 4 in the top of the 8th. Won the game 4-0. 3-2 pitch from Howard. Fastball in there for a called strike 3. Boy, Steven Chavez looking back at the plate umpire. I don't know what he's thinking. That was a hard fastball about belt high right on the outside corner. There's no question. As Brandon Shear comes up. Spencer Howard has retired all 5 he's faced. First pitch, fastball, a little bit high, maybe inside. And the count 1-0. Left-handed hitter, Brandon Shear. 2 outs, nobody on. Next pitch, lifted in the air to shallow left. Shortstop going out, left fielder coming in and calling off. Brent Binning is the left fielder, Josh George, to make the catch. Binning was going out speedy, but George had the better look, and it's always the outfielder's prerogative to call him off because he's got the better look and feel coming in. 3 up, 3 down again for Spencer Howard. We go to the home half of the 2nd inning, no score. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. Now we're ready for the bottom of the 2nd inning, no score. As Josh George will come up, then Michael Sanderson and Kyle Marinkontz. Josh George, a single and a walk in last night's game. He was 1 for 3. Mustangs tallied 7 hits, but couldn't get anybody home. First pitch to George off speed. Inside for ball 1, 1-0. Seems like everything's off speed for Brenton Arriaga. I know I've only seen him face 3 batters, but looks like he's thumbing everything up in there. 1 ball, no strikes. Big wall nip. And did he hit Josh George? Yes, he did. Came in a little bit inside and looked like he got Josh George on the elbow. So George will jog on down to first base. Good thing with a pitcher like Brenton Arriaga, you get hit with a pitch, it's not going to matter. It's not going to hurt all that much. He'll probably never touch more than 88, 89 on the radar gun. And he throws a lot of off-speed stuff. Second batter he's hit this season. There's Michael Sanderson with the leadoff man aboard. With Cal Poly struggling to score runs, let's see if Larry Lee opts for small ball here. George, good speed at first base. He stole a base last night and got caught once. All told, he's got 5 steals and just the 1 caught stealing yesterday. He draws a throw. He's got that front foot right about even with the cutout at first base. And he holds his lead right there. Pitch comes into Sanderson, does not show bump, but he takes a roundhouse curve for a strike. And the count 0-1. Being held on by Jamie Smart. You don't see many left first basemen anymore at the Division I level. Occasionally, but Jamie Smart is that. Left-handed hitter, left-handed fielder. No balls and a strike. Pitch comes in high for ball 1, 1-1. I asked Teddy Walker that question about 3 years ago. He said, hey, we're always looking. He said if they're good enough, they're going to the Pro Bowl out of high school. Left with power. It's always nice. That's not Boog Powell. 1 ball, 1 strike. George, a little bit bigger lead, and he draws a throw, but he's back easily standing. I doubt that's Arriaga's best move because Josh George read it easily and got back to the bag in plenty of time. 1 ball, 1 strike to Michael Sanderson. Open stance, slightly open stance from the right side. And another move to first base, and George back standing in plenty of time. Sanderson last night hit 8th, and he had a double and a single. And he has been rewarded for his efforts and moved up to 5th in the batting order today. Larry's moved some guys around in the lineup. Why not? 1-1 pitch. Sanderson swings, and he fouls it back and way out of play. Nobody out in the bottom of the 2nd inning. As Cal Poly continues its 12-game homestand. Won the first game earlier in the week, Tuesday against Bakersfield. CSU Bakersfield. Actually, their basketball team is playing New Mexico State today in the WAC Tournament Championship Final. This one off the fist, and it's dunked into right field for a base hit. George with good speed will go to third. It was bobbled by the right fielder, but it's no matter. George was going to end up at third anyways. So forego the bunt. Sanderson never squared. And he got jammed. And with the aluminum bat, you can always do something with an inside pitch. And he did just that. And he hit a soft line drive into right field. So now Cal Poly has runners at first and third. And Jason Gill, the head coach for Loyola Marymount, is going to come out and talk to his left-hander. Now, Brent Arriaga, he's a senior. And he's had his way on the mound through his first 3 starts. His ERA was under 1. But right now, Cal Poly's rattling his cage as they get the first 2 runners on in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Josh George led off the inning by being hit by a pitch. Sanderson singles to right field, and George goes from first to third. And now Kyle Marincounts with the quick bat will come up with nobody out. Marincounts was the cleanup hitter yesterday. He went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Maybe take the pressure off a little bit, move him down to number 6 in the lineup. Left-handed batter, left-handed pitcher, breaking ball, checks in the dirt. No appeal, no swing, and the count 1-0. Kyle Marincounts looks down to Larry Lee coaching third. Elliott Stewart coaching first. Sanderson sidestepping off the bag at first. Josh George taking his lead in foul ground. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch to Marincounts, swing and a foul straight back. We had a good rip at that. He was right on it, just under it. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Marincounts. Now Kyle's average has dipped under 200 to 196. The upside to that average, and I'm really running a reach here. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a hard shot. A dive by the Caulfield at second. He can't get it. He slams the turf because he couldn't. It goes into right field, and Cal Poly's on the board as Kyle Marincounts hits a hard one-hopper to score Josh George, that was coming. Josh George from third base. So Marincounts, an RBI single. His 8th run batted in of the season.
First baseman, number 2, Scott Ogren.
And now Scott Ogren will come up. Now, it wouldn't surprise me a bit to see a bunt here. with nobody out and runners at first and second. Ogren, right-handed hitter, squares the bunt, yep, and he pulls back and he takes a ball, and the count 1-0. Scott Ogren, freshman from Valencia High School. Brian Mundell went to Valencia High, one of my favorite players. 1 ball, no strikes. Shows bunt again, takes high, ball 2. First baseman charging, a third baseman holding ground, hoping they can get a force there. So Ogren has showed bunt twice, pulled the bat back, and has taken balls on each time. Signs from Larry Lee, 2-0. Cal Poly leading 1-0. And still have runners at first and second and nobody out. And Arriaga spins to second but doesn't throw. Ogren batting 115. Waiting on the 2-0 pitch. Arriaga comes set. He shows bunt. Look out. Inside for ball 3, 3-0. They're going to scramble the bullpen pretty soon if Arriaga continues to have command problems. Ogren has shown bunt 3 times, and each time Arriaga has thrown a ball. Three balls, no strikes. He's got to be taken here all the way. Has to. He shows bunt. He's not going to swing. No way he takes a strike. There's no way he was going to bunt that pitch. He took it to get to 3-1. RBI single by Kyle Marincons. Gets Cal Poly on the board. So Ogren will step back in. Third baseman looks like he wants to charge, but I doubt he will. Yep, he shows bunt, and he takes another strike. Ogren is ready to throw the bat away. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now, went from 3-0 to 3-2. Nobody out, runners at first and second. There's a 3-2. He shows bunt. He puts the bunt in the air, and it's going to go foul, and he is out. It goes as a strikeout. So now the number 8 hitter, Miles Emerson, coming up.
Designated hitter number 42, Miles Emerson.
There's Miles Emerson, the DH, wearing number 42. Mariano Rivera was the last big leaguer to wear 42. So Jackie Robinson. First and second, 1 out. Emerson takes a strike and the count 0-1. Emerson, the designated hitter, is 0 for 6 this season. Miles Emerson, a 5'11", 185-pound freshman from El Capitan High School from Spring Valley. 0-1 pitch. He swings and he fouls it towards the Loyola Marymount dugout. Cameras back to Elliott Stewart, who will throw it towards the Cal Poly dugout, and we'll bring that one back into play shortly. So 1 out, 0-2 to Emerson. Brent Binning in the on-deck circle. Michael Sanderson down at second, and Kyle Marincons at first. Pretty good speed both ways. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a hard comebacker. Glove by Arriaga. He goes to third for 1. The throw to first is in time and a double play. Boy, you won't find many 1-5-3 double plays. That was a hard comebacker to Arriaga. He threw to third for the force. And then from there, Shear went to first to get the out to finish the double play. 1-5-3 double play. But the Cal Poly Mustangs get a run on 2 hits, and they leave 1 runner on. After 2, Mustangs 1, Lions nothing. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. There we go. Top of the third inning, and Spencer Howard has a lead to work with. One run, but hey, he's got a lead and he'll take it. Mustangs never had the lead last night as they were shut out 4-0. Howard misses with the first pitch, and the count 1-0. Working quickly. Next pitch, fastball, foul out of play. Very late on that was Nico Decolati. 7-8-9 coming up for Loyola Marymount. I was mentioning earlier, somehow I brought up Bakersfield because Cal Poly beat them earlier in the week. That pitch misses for ball 2, 2-1. They're playing New Mexico State to try to get to the NC2A tournament for the second straight year for the Roadrunners. 2-1 pitch is outside for ball 3, 3-1. Decolati, a 265 hitter, but he has an on-base percentage of 390. That's a pretty big jump, and that's going to go up because he just takes ball 4. So a leadoff walk from Spencer Howard.
Left fielder, number 4, Jimmy Hill.
As Jimmy Hill will come up. Top of the third inning. Jimmy Hill, the number 8 hitter. Spencer Howard will work from the stretch for the first time. He had retired the first 6 hitters. But now a leadoff walk to open the top of the third. Bunt is shown, bunt is down, but it's foul. So the count 0-1. Always you kind of read about sabermetrics or on base percentage in particular. You like to see a hitter, no matter what his batting average is. I mean, granted, you'd like it to be a little bit higher, but you like to see the on base percentage at least 60 points higher than his batting average. Pitch is high. Quick throw by Meyer to first. Not in time. Boy, does Nick Meyer have good footwork behind the plate. Very, very quick. But Jimmy Hill's on base percentage is 95 points higher than his batting average, which is a good thing because he's only hitting 205. He's got to make up for it somewhere. 1 ball, 1 strike. Quick move by Howard over. He's got a quick spin move. And that always reminds me, whenever I see a pitcher, especially a right-handed pitcher with a quick move to first base, it'll forever remind me of Jeff Johnson. By far the fastest spin move from a right-handed pitcher I've seen at any level. Boy, did he have a quick move over to first base. 1-1 pitch. There's a bouncer towards short. Spinning gloves. Little jump throw to first. Very high over the head of Scott Ogren. And it ends up in the dugout. And runner at first will go to third. And the batter runner will end up at second base. So now runners at second and third with nobody out. That'll be an error on Brent Binning.
Catcher, number 9, Cooper Ewell.
So now the Mustangs, after getting the lead in the bottom of the second inning, they're in jeopardy of giving it right back with runners at second and third. Nobody out here in the top of the third. And Cooper Ewell at the plate. And Howard pours in a fastball for a strike and the count 0-1. Phil Caulfield's on deck, and short of a triple play, they're going to see him, and he's just a little pest of a hitter. 0-1 pitch. That's another strike in the count 0-2. Plate umpire giving the high strike because both those are right around the letters. Cooper Ewell, the catcher, number 9 hitter. No balls, 2 strikes. Howard misses high with a fastball. If I had to make a guess on the miles per hour on that one, I would have said about 92. Maybe 93. He zipped it in there pretty good. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Corners are in for the Mustangs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Boy, high heat from Spencer Howard. That was good old high country heat. He just threw it and said, hit it, try it.
Second baseman, Phil Caulfield.
as we go to the top of the order in Phil Caulfield. So he throws hard. At 6'3", 205 pounds. He's a big right-hander, but he's not the big right-hander. I don't do many games anymore, but that moniker is safe for Reed Riley. One out, first pitch hit into right field. Going back is Bradley Beasley. He makes the catch. Runner from third is tagging. Runner from second is tagging. Both will advance, and we got a 1-1 game. So Phil Caulfield does his job as he gets a sacrifice fly to right field, and we got a tie ball game at 1.
Shortstop, Nick Sogard.
So the leadoff walk, as it so often does, comes back to bite the pitcher in the behind. They score a fair share of the time. It's right around 40%. That leadoff walk. 2 outs, still a runner at third. 1-1 ball game in the top of the third. As Howard misses line outside for ball 1, 1-0. Nick Sogard at the plate. 1-0 pitch. Looks like that cutter he throws, and it misses low for ball 2, 2-0. Cal Poly got their leadoff man on base in the bottom of the second inning. He scored, that being Josh George, and he was hit by a pitch. 2-0 pitch lifted in the air to left field. Going back is Josh George, and about a step or two in foul ground, he makes the catch. And that's the end of the inning. That darn leadoff walk. Spencer Howard issued one and eventually came around to score on a sacrifice fly. So 1 run on no hits and an error. And 1 runner left on. Tied at 1, go to the bottom of the third. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. Well, 1-1 ball game. Cal Poly had a short lead, as in time. They scored a run in the bottom of the second, gave it back in the top of the third. On we go to the home half of the third inning. And Brent Binning, the number 9 hitter, will lead off against Arriaga. And he misses high, and the count 1-0. Trying to guess pitches with Arriaga, you never know if you're getting a fastball or a changeup because it doesn't seem to be much disparity between the two. His fastball is 86, 88, best guess. 1-0 pitch. That one had a little bend on it, but it misses down and in. For ball 2, 2-1. Excuse me, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Brett Binning, Alex McKinnon, Nick Meyer here in the bottom of the third inning. Arriaga winds and delivers, and he throws one right at the knees and over for a strike, and the count 2-1 to Binning. Binning starting shortstop as he was yesterday. Hit ninth yesterday as well and went 0 for 3. His first plate appearance today. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Up and in for ball 3, 3-1. Now, with all the scouts here looking at Spencer Howard, and they're looking at, Brenton Arriaga as well. I mean, he's a senior. There's no question he's draftable. He's from Los Osos High School in Rancho Cucamonga. 3-1 pitch, foul back, and the count 3-2. Seniors have virtually no draft leverage, which is to say they have very little bargaining power. So I'm just curious as to where he'll end up being drafted. I would be certain that he would be drafted. 3-2 pitch, foul back into the net. I mean, he gets guys out. Comes in with a 0.93 ERA. I mean, he hit a batter to open the second inning. Then a couple of singles later, Kyle Marincons knocked in Josh George to make it a 1-0 ball game. And then he settled down and got a double play ball to end the inning. And there he misses high for ball 4. And here's another leadoff walk. So the Mustangs get the leadoff man aboard for the second straight inning. Now Alex McKenna will come up. Back to the top of the order. McKenna popped out to short in the bottom of the first inning. Pitch, bunt is shown, but he takes high and outside for ball 1-0. Now the Mustangs tried to bunt in the second inning with runners at first and second, nobody out, and that didn't go too well. They tried bunting with 2 strikes and was bunted foul. Goes down as a strikeout. That led to the inning-ending double play ball. 1-0 pitch, breaking ball, big roundhouse curve, hits the inside corner for a strike, and the count 1-1. Leadoff man aboard, a walk to Brent Binning, and now the count 1-1 strike to Alex McKenna. Nick Meyer waiting on deck. Good spot for Cal Poly to do something. Try to break a 1-1 tie here in the bottom of the third. 1-1 pitch, and McKenna fouls it out of play, sliced it to the right side. So 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody out. They're really shaking up his starting rotation this weekend with the exception of Eric Ullman. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Nope, moved to first base. Kyle Smith and Jared Zill have been the Saturday and Sunday starters, but they haven't experienced the success that they had last year, and Larry Lee has made changes to both today and tomorrow starters. 1-2 pitch, hard shot off of the glove, a one-hopper off of the third baseman's glove into left field. Brandon Shear gave it a good try, but that ball was scorched. As McKenna hit a bullet. So now runners at first and second with nobody out again. This was the situation I just described a couple of minutes ago that Cal Poly had last inning. They had runners at first and second with nobody out. That was after they had scored a run. And the bunt didn't work. Let's see if they try it again with Nick Meyer. First pitch comes in, Meyer shows bunt. He puts the bunt down, nice looking bunt. Picked up by the first baseman, he throws to first just in time. Meyer almost beat that out. But a well-placed bunt with some good hustle, and that moves the runners to second and third.
Right fielder Bradley Beasley.
And now Bradley Beasley will come up. So in a 1-1 game in the bottom of the third, Cal Poly has runners at second and third with 1 out. And here's Beasley. First pitch to him, in there for a strike. And the count 0-1. Beasley flat out to right field to end the first inning. So 0-1 with 1 out. Brett Binning at third. Alex McKenna at second. Pitch comes in, swung on and fouled in the air to the right side, and that'll go way out of play. So the count 0-2. Beasley at .261 average coming in, but he has an on-base percentage of .424. I mean, that's an extremely good on-base percentage. And it just goes to show how deceiving batting average can be. Pitch down and in the dirt for ball 1, 1 and 2. I mean, if you look at the stat sheet and you just look at batting average and you see Bradley Beasley's hitting 261, you go, not that good. But if you go a few columns over and you see his on-base percentage of 424, I mean, that's a fantastic on-base percentage. Give the young man a lot of credit for walking and getting hit by pitches. Why not? He's getting on base. 1-2 pitch, and he hits a little blooper towards shallow right field, going out to the second baseman. Caulfield makes the catch on the run, and then he spins and throws a lofting one-hopper into home plate. Tell you, that little guy can play some second base. And he can also swing the bat. As he went a long way to get that little blooper off of the bat of Bradley Beasley. He just strikes me as a young man that has a high baseball IQ. So runners remain at second and third. Cal Poly trying to break a 1-1 tie. And Josh George at the plate. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Pitch comes in, and George late on a fastball, fouls it out of play. He got jammed a little bit, too. Wasn't so much he was late, but that pitch just ran into his hands. George was hit by a pitch to open the second inning and eventually scored on Kyle Marinkont's single. Cal Poly got the leadoff man aboard with a walk, and Binning's still at third right now. McKenna behind him at second. 0-1 pitch, just missed outside for ball 1. 1-1. So here's that important 1-ball, 1-strike pitch from Brett Arriaga. Arriaga will come set. George waiting. Here's the 1-1 and a slow curveball in for a strike. 1-2. You time that thing with a sundial. Slow. That thing couldn't have been more than 70 miles an hour, honestly. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Second and third in a 1-1 game, bottom of 3. Arriaga comes set, delivers. George reaches out, hits it in the air down the left field line. It's a foul ball. Left fielder will give chase, but he can't get there. So that'll drop. George will come back and try it again. Actually, he never left home plate. He knew it was foul. It was either going to be an out or he was going to get another shot at it, and he gets another shot at it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cal Poly had runners at first and second, first and third with nobody out last inning, and then got a single from Kyle Marinkont to make it 1-0. And then the bunt didn't work, and then a double play ball to end the inning. That was last inning. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Working from the stretch is Arriaga. Second and third, here's the pitch. A check swing on a fastball. They ask the base umpire, and he says no swing. The Loyola Marymount dugout tried selling that thing best they could. But it was a no sale to the base umpire, and the count goes to 2-2. It was close. It was close. So 2-2 to Josh George. George, a .286 hitter. With an on-base percentage 100 points higher. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Slow curveball got him swinging. Well, the Mustangs get the leadoff man aboard, but couldn't do anything with him. No runs and a hit. 2 runners left on. We go to the 4th, 1-1 ball game. This is Cal Poly baseball from Learfield.
please, for its support on Mustang Baseball.
Ready to go. Spencer Howard just finished up his warm-up tosses as Cal Poly misses an opportunity in the bottom of the third inning. They come into the game batting 181 with runners in scoring position.
Leading off the Lions,
And
fielder Billy Wilson.
they're not helping their cause much today, even though Kyle Marincons did a little bit with an RBI single in the second inning. But they've left runners at second and third and first and second in the first two innings. First pitch by Howard is a swing and a miss for strike one to Billy Wilson. Billy Wilson, Jamie Smart, and Steven Chavez. And Wilson showing bunt. And he takes low and away for ball one, 1-1. Billy Wilson struck out looking in the first inning. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. A good hard cutter. That's that hard cutter Teddy Walker was telling me about. It looks like he's throwing it in the mid-80s, would be my guess. 1-2 pitch. And here's a little short one-hopper that's bobbled by the first baseman, but then throws to Howard covering, and it's late. Ogren was a one-hopper with English, and he couldn't handle it. And he booted it, picked it up, and threw late to Spencer Howard covering.
Jamie Smart.
That'll be an error on Ogren at first. Jamie Smart will come up. 1-1 ball game, top of the fourth inning. Howard's fastball is high for ball one, 1-0. Smart bounced out to first, his first time up. Spencer Howard will work from the stretch. Ogren holding on. Wilson at first base. Wilson has 8 steals this year, and he draws a throw pretty close. But the count 1-0. Smart, 5 runs batted in this season. Wilson, 8 steals, just an average size lead. Howard's fastball misses outside for ball 2, 2-0. Steven Chavez waiting on deck. Neither team hits many home runs. Loyola Marymount has hit 3 as a team, Cal Poly 2. And Cal Poly hasn't hit a home run since the second game of the season as that pitch is fouled out of play. They hit 2 home runs. Kevin Morgan and Nick Meyer did in the second game of the year against Cal. They have not had a home run since. 1-1 ball game in the top of the fourth inning. Quick move over to first, and back diving is Billy Wilson. Jamie Smart, big left-handed swinger. Spencer Howard from Templeton High School. Set just above the belt and move over to first base, and they almost had Billy Wilson leaning. He took a little flinch to second, and Howard moved over. And Howard, let it be the windup or the stretch, he works off the very edge of the first base side of the pitcher's rubber. Same thing as Ullman did last night. 2-1 pitch. Down and in for ball 3, 3-1. So Howard, 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitters count with nobody out. Leadoff man Billy Wilson reached on an error by Ogren at first. That's where he is. 3-1 pitch. A pitch on the inside corner for a strike, and the count 3-2. Nick Meyer starting to look into the dugout for signs, but I know that might be a pickoff. That's the one caveat of him calling the pitches in the game, is that pickoffs and pitch outs and things still come from the dugout. Quick move over to first base, and Wilson back diving again. So you could see that he looked into the dugout. And then there was a pickoff throw to first base. So that's still coming from the dugout. But as far as just calling pitches, that's all Nick Meyer. So now I doubt he's moving over to first base here because Meyer didn't look into the dugout. Nope, but the runner goes. Pitch is swung on. Line drive. Dive and caught by the third baseman, Sanderson. He will throw to first for the double play. It can work for you or against you by sending the runner, and it worked against Loyola Marymount there. Runner was going. Line drive off the bat of Jamie Smart. Diving catch by Michael Sanderson at third. Easy throw to first, and that's a double play. 2 outs. Second double play of the game. First pitch is strike to Steven Chavez. The first one was from Loyola Marymount. A 1-5-3 double play. 0-1 pitch. And that's fouled back into the seats. So 0-2. So Howard got that double play and jumps ahead of the count. Advantage Howard, no balls, 2 strikes. Chavez, right-handed hitter. Comes in batting .476. He's 0 for 1. He's dropped down to .455, and that's fouled out of play. So no balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. And Nick Meyer wants to give signs again to Spencer Howard. He'll go back to the windup once that double play ball cleared the bases. Here's the 0-2. And he lost the release point on that or the grip or something. That thing just floated high and inside, way high for ball 1, 1-2. Howard so far has struck out 3 and walked 1 through 3 2/3 innings. He's allowed a run, but it was an unearned run because of an error in the third inning. This ball is lined down the left field line. That's going to fall for a base hit, maybe 2, but nope, a wide turn. But the ball hustled in by Josh George. Well done there to keep Steven Chavez to a single.
Third baseman Brandon Shearer.
And now Brandon Shear comes up. Shear 0 for 1, flat out to left. 1-1. Cal Poly scored in the bottom of the second. Loyola Marymount came back in the top of the third. And now we're in the top of the fourth with 2 outs and runner at first base. Howard, pitch on the inside corner for a strike in the count, 0-1. Runner with a very small lead at first base. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a ground ball up the middle. A dive by Benning to short. He got it. He gets it. And he tries to glove shovel it to Marincons covering second, but he couldn't do it cleanly. That'll be an infield single. Ball hit hard. Benning did a nice job to dive and spear it. Did that last night a couple of times. But that one he did all he could. The dive, and he's got that brown, dusty green jersey right now and white pants with a shade of brown. But he dove, gloved it, and from his belly, he tried to toss it with his glove. But now pitching coach Chal Fanning making a slow walk out to the mound to talk to Spencer Howard and the rest of the Cal Poly infield. Give you a quick update of some scores right now. Gonzaga and Fullerton playing in Fullerton. Gonzaga won last night 1-0. Cal Poly will see the Bulldogs on Monday, 6 o'clock game here at Baggett Stadium. But Fullerton right now in the bottom of the third leading Gonzaga 1-0. BYU beat Santa Barbara again, swept them in a doubleheader yesterday, and they win today 14-8. The Gauchos now 5-10 on the season. Davis loses to UConn 9-6. Davis is now 4-9. And CSUN beat Purdue again 4-1. They beat him yesterday 16-8. Long Beach State loses again to Arizona State. Lost last night 7-6 in extra innings, 10 innings, and then lost today 9-4. All right, here we go. Howard ready. Runners at first and second. 2 outs. Pitch misses outside for ball 1-0. 1-1 ball game in the top of the 4th inning. Nico Decolati at the plate. He walked and scored in the 3rd inning. Howard's next pitch low and away for ball 2-0. Decolati was issued that leadoff walk in the 3rd inning and came around to score on Phil Caulfield's sacrifice fly. Two balls, no strikes. Here's Howard's pitch, and a fastball was over, but it's low for ball 3-3. He really uncorked a good fastball there. That's probably his hardest pitch of the game. Wish I had a radar gun to know. I can't quite see the ones all the scouts have down below. But he zipped that thing in there pretty good. But it was ball 3-0. Checks the runner at second, high leg kick home, and that's outside for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk. All right, now the bases are loaded. And the number 8 hitter, Jimmy Hill, coming up. 1-1. And Spencer Howard trying to keep it that way right now, but he has the bases loaded with 2 outs. Jimmy Hill reached on an error his first time up. After a 4-pitch walk, my guess would be Jimmy Hill's taken all the way. Let's see, here's the first pitch. No, he's not. He swings and bounces it to Benning at short, who underhands the Marincon's covering to get the force at second base, and that ends the inning. A little surprising, but Jason Gill wants his hitters to be aggressive and offensive, or offensive. And he rolled the dice, and he bounced out with the bases loaded on the fielder's choice to second. We're still tied at 1. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Cal Poly baseball from Learfield. Well, Spencer Howard, a nice job to keep Loyola Marymount off the board in the top of the 4th inning. He had the bases loaded with 2 outs. And he got a bouncing ball to short for a fielder's choice, and on we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. There's Michael Sanderson. Then Kyle Marincons and Scott Ogren against left-handed senior Brenton Arriaga. Sanderson swings, line drive right at the 3rd baseman. Sanderson didn't get 3 steps out of the batter's box. Nothing was in the glove of Shear at 3rd. He hit it on a button, but right at the 3rd baseman. Now Kyle Marincons comes up with that RBI single. Maybe that'll get him on the better half of good. His batting average was under 200 coming in. 1 RBI single and gets him up to 213. As he takes the first pitch high for ball 1-0. You watch Kyle Marincons take batting practice, and one thing that jumps out right away, he has a very quick bat. He gets that bat through the zone in a hurry. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 4th inning. There's the 1-0 pitch to Marincons. He swings, and it's a big bouncer over the mound, but played perfectly. The shortstop, back of the bag of second base, Sogard gloves it and throws out Marincons. Off the bat, I thought that thing was going into center field, but then I saw Sogard was playing almost back of the bag at second base. So Scott Ogren coming up. Ogren should probably take a couple of pitches here because Spencer Howard, after struggling to get through the fourth inning, he faced 6 batters. And he swings the first pitch, a dive by Caulfield at second, but he can't get in. It goes into center field. Yeah, it works for or against you. He ran the risk of not giving Spencer Howard not much rest if that ball was fielded and thrown to first base for the third out of the inning. Could have been like a 4-pitch inning.
The DH, Miles Emerson.
But it worked out, and Ogren got himself a base hit. As Miles Emerson comes up. 1-1, bottom of the fourth inning. 2 outs. Ogren at first base. Emerson hit into that 1-5-3 double play, which you don't see that often. As Emerson swings at the first pitch and fouls it at the plate. And the count 0-1. Got a little piece of the catcher, and the plate umpire started to go out towards the mound and maybe dust off home plate, as the umpires will do, just to help the catcher, give him a little time and shake it off if needed. But the catcher Cooper rule, you could see him tell the umpire, no, I'm good. It's okay. No balls and a strike to Emerson. A pitcher to third to first double play back in the second inning. As Arriaga misses for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. I was talking about moving around that starting rotation. Larry Lee is this weekend. Bobby I will start tomorrow. Record of 0-2 and a 5.23 ERA. But Bobby I has started some Tuesday games. And that pitch in for a strike in the count 1-2. But he'll start tomorrow. For Loyola Marymount, it is right-hander Corey Abbott. Hey, Abbott, 2-0 with a 4.15 ERA. Move over to first base, and back standing is Emerson. Now Cal Poly scored in the second, Loyola Marymount in the third. 2 hits for the Lions, 4 for Cal Poly, but 2 errors for the Mustangs. It's led to 1 unearned run. That pitch foul tip, catcher hangs on, and that's strike 3. So Arriaga strikes out Emerson to end the inning, and that is strikeout number 3 for him. Still 1-1, we go to the 5th. Cal Poly baseball from Learfield. Well, moving along to the 5th inning. Let's check the totals after 4 complete. For Loyola Marymount, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. For Cal Poly, 1 run, 4 hits, and 2 errors. One of Cal Poly errors has led to an unearned run in the 3rd inning. We're 1-1. There's Spencer Howard. First pitch, he pours that in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Howard facing the 9-1-2 hitters. 0-1 pitch. Misses low for ball 1, 1-1. Howard so far, 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. misses high for ball two, 2-1. Well, Howard being a redshirt sophomore and all these scouts here taking a look at him, he's going to be drafted. I don't think there's any question he's going to be drafted. I couldn't give it any idea as to where. Pitch foul back into the net and the count 2-2. If I had to make a guess, and I'm just doing this from a broadcaster's, baseball fan standpoint, having watched pitchers for a long time, I bet you there's a reasonable chance. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss for strike three. I bet you there's a reasonable chance he could go in the first 5 rounds. Just a guess. We won't know until June.
Second baseman, Phil Caulfield.
And back to the top of the order in Phil Caulfield. Here's a little guy that I like as a baseball player, Phil Caulfield. Swings the bat well. Has an average of .385 and an on-base percentage of over .500. Has soft hands at second base as he takes a strike in the count 0-1. You could tell his last time up that he gave himself up to hit a fly ball into right field to get a sacrifice fly and a run home. There he swings and he slashes one towards left. Going back is George on the run. He makes the catch. But he's a good-looking little ball player. He's a senior, and he's only about 5'8", 5'9".
Shortstop, Nick Sogard.
So 2 quick outs for Spencer Howard. As Nick Sogard comes up, and Howard zips one inside, but a little too far in the count, 1-0. 1-1 in the top of the 5th inning. And this ball well struck into right center field. Racing back is the center fielder McKenna and the right fielder Beasley, and it's between them and it rolls to the wall. Look at Sogard fly as he rounds second and he goes into third standing with a triple. They got a lot of that one and hit it to the alley in right center field for a 2-out triple.
Center fielder Billy Wilson.
I suppose if you're going to give up a triple, that's the time to do it with 2 outs and nobody on base. And Nick Meyer, the catcher, will jog out to the mound and talk with Spencer Howard. So 2 outs in the top of the 5th, and Loyola Marymount with the go-ahead run at third base after the 2-out triple by Nick Sogard. And now Billy Wilson will come up. And here comes Larry Lee out to the mound. I wonder if that's going to be all for Spencer Howard. He's pitched well. Yep, he's patting him on the back. That's going to be all for Spencer Howard. Got a left-hander coming in. Howard did well. 4 2/3, 3 hits, and an unearned run. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. Howard will walk off, and he asserted himself well in this start. He really did. I think there's a lot of upside to that young man. He's got a bright future in baseball, as long as he can stay healthy. You could tell Spencer Howard leaving the game, and a lot of the scouts are going, I'm good, I'm done. You can see 3 or 4 of them packing up their stuff and saying, all right, I've seen enough. We'll be back in a minute. It's Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. Al Junior left-hander Trent Shelton comes into the game for the Cal Poly Mustangs. Transfer from Oregon State. He's from Lafayette, California. 6'4", 205-pound junior. We'll get you some numbers on him in a minute. But Spencer Howard, 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was unearned, but he's still responsible for the runner at third. He walked 2 and struck out 4. As Trent Shelton comes in out of the bullpen. Shelton has pitched in 5 2/3 innings, over 6 appearances. He has 1 start. Left-hander, off-speed pitch, low and away for ball 1, 1-0. Shelton started earlier in the week against CSU Bakersfield. Pitched 3 1/3 innings as he misses for ball 2, 2-0. 3 runs on 4 hits. 4 runs on 3 hits, excuse me. Got a little dyslexic there. 2-0 pitch in for a strike in the count, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Runner at third, 1-1 ball game, top of the 5th inning. Shelton delivers, swing and pulled foul, about 3 feet wide of first. Hit hard from the left-handed swinging Billy Wilson. But Shelton trying to pick up his teammate Spencer Howard and leave that runner stranded at third and get Cal Poly back in the dugout and back at the plate. 2-2 pitch. And a check. Did he go? Yes, he did. It popped out of the glove of Meyer, so he's got to go to first for the out, and they do. Good work by Trent Shelton out of the bullpen to get a strikeout to leave the runner stranded at third. So the game remains a 1-1 tie. On we go to the bottom of the 5th with the 9, 1, and 2 hitters coming up for Larry Lee. We'll be back in a minute. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. Now Brent Binning to lead off in the bottom of the 5th inning. And then Alex McKenna and Nick Meyer. Binning walked his first time up. Leadoff walk in the 3rd inning, but Mustangs couldn't do anything with it. As Arriaga's first pitch misses high for ball 1, 1-0. Trent Shelton did a nice job out of the bullpen to get 1 out to end the top of the 5th inning as Arriaga hits the inside corner and at the knees for a strike in the count, 1-1 to Binning. Spencer Howard gave up a 2-out triple to Nick Sogard, and Larry Lee took him out of the ball game. And Trent Shelton came in and struck out Billy Wilson, inning over. 1-1 pitch, slow breaking ball. In there for a strike in the count, 1-2. Binning hitting 143 on the year, but an on-base percentage of .280. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Brent Arriaga as Brent Arriaga comes up. Kind of neat thing they do. They have a junior announcer come in and take over for C.J. Silas, who's been the PA announcer here forever. And he announces the batters in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And the first pitch to McKenna. He slices it to right field. That's over the right fielder's head, and it one hops the wall. McKenna going towards second. He'll stop there, and he's got a stand-up double. Alex McKenna, a one-out double.
Now batting, catcher, number 26, Nick Meyer.
So second hit for McKenna today. Moved to the leadoff spot. He's produced a single and a double. Now let's see if Nick Meyer can add to the cause in a 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the 5th inning. One down. 5th hit for the Cal Poly Mustangs. Arriaga comes set, delivers to Meyer, and he hits a hard 1-2 hopper towards the shortstop. It's in front of McKenna, so he's got to go back to the second base bag, throw to first, and Meyer's out.
Now batting,
Good base running by McKenna. That's what he has to do. When the ball's hit in front of you at second base, when you're at second base, you hold. Or at minimum, go back to the bag. So Meyer bounces out on the first pitch, and now there are 2 outs. And Bradley Beasley comes up 0 for 2, a pop out and a fly out. 1 to second, 1 to right. 1-1 ball game, bottom of the 5th inning. Long time set, big breaking ball, slow breaking ball. Bent in for a strike. And the count of 1-1. That's not quite a 12-6 curveball, but it's a big roundhouse curveball. Beasley, right-handed hitter, trying to pick up McKenna at second base or at worst extend the inning. And he swings, and it's one high in the air to left field, shallow left towards the line. Running over is Jimmy Hill, and he makes the catch about 3 feet in fair territory. That's the end of the inning. So Cal Poly continues to struggle with runners in scoring position. They were hitting 181 coming in for the season, which is an alarmingly low number through 13 games. And they just go 0 for 2 here in the 5th inning.
1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base.
1-1, we go to the 6th. This is Cal Poly baseball from Learfield.
Here's our guest now.
Well, yesterday we were scoreless through 7. Now we played 5, and it's 1-1.
Leading off to the Lions, first
So
baseman
we're not far off from that. But the end result is that we were tied last night, and we're tied tonight. So Trent Shelton back to the mound, tall left-hander to face the 4-5-6 hitters. His first pitch, a fastball, hits the outside corner, and the count 0-1. Jamie Smart, Steven Chavez, and Brandon Shear. There's the 0-1, and that's lifted in the air to left field. Josh George coming over, still coming over in foul ground. He's under it, one-handed catch, 1 gone. And now the DH, Steven Chavez, comes up.
The DH, Steven Chavez.
Chavez struck out looking and singled in the 4th inning. Top half of the 6th inning here at Baggett Stadium. Back at you tomorrow for Game 3. Well, I won't, but Chris Sylvester will. As that first pitch misses for ball 1, 1-0. 1 o'clock first pitch tomorrow. Finish up the 3-game series, and then Gonzaga on Monday at 6. Next pitch, a strike by Shelton in the count 1-1. Airtime tomorrow, 12:45. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Line drive, center field, and that'll be a base hit. So Chavez, his second hit of the game.
Third baseman Brandon Shearer.
He's coming up will be Brandon Shear. Shear an infield single his last time up. Comes in batting .273 and 1 for 2 gets him to .286. 1 out runner at first base, and Shelton first pitch strike, so working ahead 0-1. So 1 down, 1-1 ball game. Top of the 6th inning. Bobby I will start tomorrow. There's the 0-1, and that misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Big West Tournament Championship game. I got to check the score on that thing. UC Davis and UC Irvine. UC schools making their statement. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss. For strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So with 1 out runner at first base. It's kind of funny when Spencer Howard left the game and you could see 3 scouts right away pack up their stuff and off they went. Looks like they came here to see him and him only. And when he left, that was enough for them. It was dinner time. Here's the 1-2 pitch and a ground ball to Marincons. He dives, rolls, gets up, throws to first in time. Runner goes to second, but a nice play by Kyle Marincons. I'm multitasking here. Trying to navigate through my iPhone to get the UC Irvine, UC Davis score, but then I realized the thing isn't being played until 8:30. If you're wondering, UC Irvine's a 6-point favorite in that one. 2 outs, runner at second, still 1-1. Shelton bends in a curveball for a strike in the count 0-1. Nico Decolati at the plate. Nico Decolati. Doesn't get more World Baseball Classic Italian than that. 0-1 pitch, line drive, right at the shortstop, Brent Benning, and he makes the catch. Kind of a soft line drive, but Benning in a good spot. He gets it, and the inning's over, leaving a runner stranded at second base. On we go to the bottom of the 6th, 1-1. Still, we've been that way since the top of the 3rd. We'll be back in a minute. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. Now, when I'm talking scores, and I was going to ESPN.com and getting some scores, Alex Klepper, who's in studio, will have all kinds of scores for you when we get to the post game. As soon as the game's over, we'll throw it to him, and he'll bring you up to speed best he can, which is better than most. Here we go, bottom of the 6th. 1 ball and 1 strike, 1-1, excuse me. As Josh George will be leading off in the bottom of the 6th inning. Josh George, Michael Sanderson, and Kyle Marinkontz. 1 run on 4 hits for Loyola Marymount, 1 run on 5 hits for the Mustangs. Lefty-lefty matchup here as Josh George showed bunt and had to duck away from a slow curveball. He should have done the Rudy Stein thing and taken that one for the team to get on base as the leadoff hitter. He probably wouldn't even have felt it if that thing would have hit him. Came in there about 65, 70 miles an hour. 1-0 pitch, another slow breaking ball, and that hits the outside corner. I mean, that thing's almost backing up. It is extremely slow. It's always the interesting thing about baseball jargon. 1-1 pitch. Fastball, oh, see, he threw him 2 very slow curveballs, and then he throws him a fastball in the mid 80s, and it looks like it's about 95, and he swings it very late at it. And they got to stop play for just a moment because they got some fans on the dirt pile beyond center field, and they cannot continue the game until those guys move.
Remove yourself from the wall and the wood dirt pile.
So once they move, then they can continue the game. They won't like it, but they got to move. Josh George noticed him and asked the plate umpire, and they had to make the announcement to please move. So that's what Arriaga does. He throws those slow curveballs, then he comes in with a fastball, and you're way late on it, even though it's only about 85, 86. As George gets jammed on that one and fouls it off to the left in the count 1-2. George was hit by a pitch and scored in the 2nd inning, then he struck out in the 3rd. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here he is leading off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Arriaga's next pitch, breaking ball, and jammed him on the fist, and he fouls it out of play again. One ball game in the home half of the 6th inning here at Baggett Stadium. Arriaga out of the windup. Here's the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch, and George swings and misses on a pitch in the dirt. And it's blocked, smothered, and the throw to first to get George to make the out official. George was pretty much fooled that entire at bat. From the first pitch he saw when he showed bunt, and Arriaga threw him a big roundhouse curveball that he had to duck away from, and with his eyes looking like grapefruits. Then he threw him another slow curveball. Then he threw him a fastball that he was extremely late on. And then he got jammed on 2 other pitches. And then he swings and misses on a pitch in the dirt for strike 3. Tough at bat for Josh George. It's a beauty about baseball, as that pitch is a strike to Michael Sanderson in the count 0-1. You disassociate one at bat to the next, and you play this game a long time. Got to have some talent and skill. And the 0-1 pitch is lifted in the air to shallow left, going out the shortstop, coming in the left fielder, Jimmy Hill, and Hill will make the catch. 2 outs.
Second baseman, Kyle Marinkontz.
As Kyle Marinkontz will come up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning, 1-1 ball game. Marinkontz RBI single in the 2nd inning. And then he bounced out to short in the 4th. First pitch. And that misses outside for ball 1, 1-0. Kyle Marinkontz, one of 2 left-handed bats in the lineup. Josh George is the other. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Here's a bouncing ball, goes past the pitcher and goes to the shortstop back of second. He scoops it up. Sidearm flings it to first base, and Marinkontz is out to end the inning. So 1-2-3 inning. Since allowing that double to Alex McKinnon in the 5th inning, Arriaga has retired 5 in a row. Well, we've played 6, still 1-1. On we go to the 7th. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. Well, we played 6. Here's your totals. For Loyola Marymount, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. For Cal Poly, 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors. The Mustangs got on the board first in the 2nd inning with an RBI single from Kyle Marinkontz that scored Josh George. Loyola Marymount came back and scored an unearned run in the top of the 3rd inning after a leadoff walk to Nico Decolati. 3 batters later, a sacrifice fly by Phil Caulfield scored him to tie the game at 1. And look out, hard shot yanked foul by Jimmy Hill to open the top of the 7th inning, the count 0-1. But there was an error in that 3rd inning that extended the inning, allowing the run to score, making it unearned. Here's the 0-1. Here's a bouncing ball to third. Sanderson gloves the room service hop, sets, throws across the diamond to Ogren, and there's 1 out. Some of the other scores in the Big West. UC Irvine starting to make a little bit of noise. They're playing the #1 team in the country, the TCU Horned Frogs, down in Irvine. Irvine started the weekend at 7-4, and they beat TCU yesterday 11-2, and they beat them again today, 6-3. A breaking ball by Shelton is low for ball 1, 1 and out. Gonzaga and Fullerton are tied at 1 in the 5th inning. Sounds familiar. Santa Barbara lost to BYU 14-8, got swept in Provo. That pitch in for a strike in the count 1-1. 1 out. Top of the 7th inning, 1-1 ball game. Shelton delivers. Good breaking ball. Swing and a miss for strike 2, 1-2. Cooper Uhl at the plate, the #9 hitter. Phil Caulfield waiting on deck. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball by Shelton. Very high for ball 2, 2-2. Shelton in relief of Spencer Howard, who went 4 2/3, 3 hits and 1 run. He'll get a no decision in this ball game. Off speed, swing and a miss for strike 3. Boy, Shelton really pulled the string on that one. And it was dipping all the same. And Cooper Uhl strikes out swinging.
Second baseman, Phil Caulfield.
Second strikeout for Trent Shelton. Here's that little second baseman that I like for Loyola Marymount. Good looking little ball player. Just looks like he has a high baseball IQ. Got a sacrifice fly, knocked in the run. He shows bunt, takes a strike. And the count 0-1. Caulfield is 0 for 2 today. He's knocked in 8 runs on the season, which is second on the team to Billy Wilson's 10. Here's the 0-1. Swings, and it's a hard ground ball to the right side. Dive by Marinkontz, and it goes off his glove. Rolls a little bit farther into right field, but Caulfield's got a single. Gets a fist knock from the first base coach. Takes off the batting gloves. Yeah, some will call them hitting gloves. That's what it was there. As he gets a 2-out single. And Nick Sogard will be coming up. Sogard tripled his last time up, but it was a 2-out, nobody on triple. And that was the last batter Spencer Howard faced. Move over to first base, and Caulfield back diving. I still get a kick out of that. As soon as Larry Lee came out and removed Spencer Howard from the game, it was like a mass exodus of scouts. I'm embellishing a little bit, but I couldn't go a full game without at least 3 or 4 good, solid embellishments. Because that pitch has fouled out of play in the count 0-1. It was really about 4 or 5. There's probably about 20 here, my best guess. No balls and a strike. 2 outs, 1-1 ball game in the top of the 7th inning here at Baggett Stadium. Shelton delivers, and that fades outside a little bit. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. Bakersfield and Creighton in Nebraska got canceled because of snow again. Yesterday and today. That was a series Cal Poly had with TCU 2-3 seasons back. They got snowed out the entire weekend. Move over to first base, and Caulfield back standing. 1 ball, 1 strike meantime. Holy Cross beat USC 6-4. That's got to hurt the Trojans. 1-1 pitch. They got him picked off. Caulfield going to second. A high throw. They bring the tag down. No, not in time. Shelton picked off Caulfield. He was running, and Shelton threw over to first, and then Ogren's throw was a little bit high, and Caulfield got in there under the tag. IQ just went down a little bit. He'll get a stolen base out of it. So 2 outs, runner in scoring position, 1-1 pitch, breaking ball for a strike, 1-2. Now an important sequence. Boy, that was an important pitch. That 1 ball, 1 strike pitch from Shelton to get ahead of the count, 1-2. Hitters' averages are usually between 150 to 180 points higher from a 1 ball, 2 strike count to a 2-1 count. That pitch is high for ball 2, 2-2. 1-1 in the top of the 7th inning, and Caulfield at second base with good speed. Shelton sets. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball to third. Sanderson has that. He throws to first in time, and the inning's over. Leaving the runner stranded at second base. So no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on. Time to stretch things out a bit here at Baggett Stadium. Take me out to the ball game. Sounds good. We'll be back in a minute. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. Well, Trent Shelton's done a nice job out of the bullpen for the Cal Poly Mustangs. Got some good bullpen work tonight. As he's gone 2 1/3 out of the bullpen, has not allowed a run. Hasn't walked anybody either. That's very, very important, especially for your reliever. Onward, bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch, curveball in for a strike to Scott Ogren, and the count 0-1. 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up. It's the old joke, why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Arriaga continues to pitch, 0-1 pitch, bouncer foul, wide of third. Arriaga so far 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Ogren's got a single today and a strikeout. Strikeout in the sense that he couldn't get the 2-strike bunt down. 0-2 pitch. Swing, and he slices one to right field. This is trouble if it gets over the right fielder's head, and it does. Ogren hits first. He's steaming for second to get the ball in a hurry, so he'll have to settle for a double. Leadoff double for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the 7th inning in a 1-1 ball game. And that'll bring up Miles Emerson.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for
Nope.
number 42.
Kevin Morgan's going to pinch hit.
Number 11, Kevin Morgan.
So Kevin Morgan will come up to pinch hit here in the bottom of the 7th inning. I mean, Kevin's job here is kind of twofold. I mean, it'd be ideal if he could just hit the ball to the right side to get the runner to third with 1 out, because there's nobody out right now, or just flat out get him in. He's got a lot of room down the right field line. That right fielder is pushed a little bit towards left center, or right center, excuse me. But his job is to hit this ball to the right side to get the runner to third. And he's going to bunt, and he missed it. That's one way to do it. He went after a curveball that was way outside. And the count 0-1. So instead of letting him swing to get the runner to third or possibly bring him in, Larry Lee opted to have him bunt. He's going to bunt again, and this time he bunts it right in front of home plate. It's a beautiful bunt. Kevin Morgan can run, throw to first, got him. So they got him over to third. Larry Lee brought in Kevin Morgan to bunt, and he did. So now the number 9 hitter, Brent Binning, coming up.
Shortstop, Brett Binning.
And the number 9 hitter, Binning, coming up with Alex McKinney in the on-deck circle. If you listened last night, I was talking about the baseball book by Brian Kinney, Ahead of the Curve, how it really delves into sabermetrics, the new revolution of baseball, and how stats are being tossed, turned, and delivered in a way never seen before. It's a great read. I'll tell you about another book I started after that one. I'm about 50, 60 pages in, something like that. The pitch is outside for ball 1-0. As Cal Poly trying to take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 1-1. On the count 1-0 to Brent Binning. Possible squeeze here, Larry Lee. We've seen plenty of squeezes over the years. Not much of a lead from Ogren at third. It's a book called The Baseball Whisperer. 1-0 pitch. Happy shows bunt. Everybody moving except the base runner.
Everybody clap your hands.
So the count 2 balls, no strikes. That was the safety squeeze. Safety squeeze is where you put the bunt down and the runner from third only goes if it's in play. Suicide squeeze is where the runner's going from third and hitter's got to do whatever he can to get the bat on the ball. Breaking ball in for a strike in the count 2-1. And Loyola Marymount has the infield in right now with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-1 ball game. Two balls and 1 strike. Yeah, the Baseball Whisperer, it's a really good read so far. And it has a whole chapter featuring Ozzie Smith, former Cal Poly shortstop. 2-1 pitch, hey, shows bunt. Pitch way high and outside for ball 3. It's about a coach, Merle Eberly, who had a Summer League wood bat team in Clarinda, Iowa. And a lot of people wanted to play for him, and Ozzie Smith did when he was at Cal Poly. Played for Merle Eberly in Clarinda, Iowa. 3-1 pitch, and that's low, ball 4. And coming up is Alex McKenna. And there's a chapter in there that talks about Ozzie Smith and how he had to work in construction, and I don't think it was quite like a bricklayer. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it was a really good education. And And Ozzie Smith really grew to like the town of Clarinda and his coach for a couple of summers, Merle Everly. And when Ozzie Smith was elected into the Hall of Fame, he had Merle Everly come and be a part of that ceremony. And Merle Everly died a short time ago. Then Ozzie Smith attended his funeral. It's a good read. If you like to learn more about Ozzie Smith and his time at Cal Poly and how it went about it, I'd invite you to pick up The Baseball Whisperer by Michael Tackett. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change for Loyola Marymount. As Brett Arriaga walks Brent Binney to put runners at first and third in the bottom of the 7th inning. New pitcher comes in. We'll tell you who it is when we come back in a minute. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. A new pitcher in for Loyola Marymount is a right-hander, Ted Boeke, B-O-E-K-E. Boeke, a senior, 6'3", 200 pounds, from Crescenta Valley High School in La Crescenta. He comes into the game with one out in the bottom of the 7th inning, with runners at first and third in a 1-1 ball game. As the Cal Poly Mustangs will have Alex McKenna to plate. This is the guy you want up there. Cal Poly has struggled mightily with runners in scoring position this season. They came into the game hitting 181 as a team with runners in scoring position. Looks like we're going to get a pinch runner in for the Cal Poly Mustangs.
Your attention, please.
Colby Barrick
Pinch running for number 2, Ogren.
will come in to pinch run
Colby Barrick.
for Scott Ongren. So here we go. One out, runners at the corners for the Mustangs in a 1-1 game. Here's Alex McKenna. First pitch from Ted Boeke. Nope, he's going to try the old fake the third, look to first move. They banned that in the major leagues like 4 years ago. They said, why bother? So one down. I've seen it work maybe once or twice in the 11 years I did Cal Poly baseball, something like that. Maybe twice, but I'm pretty sure it was once. Can't remember the guy you think I would, because that pitch is low for ball 1-0. He was probably the only guy on the planet that night that got burned by it. So the count 1 ball and no strikes to McKenna. McKenna singled and doubled today. Trying to give the Mustangs the lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. Next pitch, swung on, line by drive, left field. That's a base hit, and that's going to bring home the pinch runner Barrick, and the Mustangs have the lead 2-1. Alex McKenna, 3rd hit today. Boy, he hit a laser to left field. RBI number 4 on the season.
Catcher Nick Meyer.
So the leadoff double by Scott Ogren proves fruitful. As Cal Poly takes the lead 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning, and now Nick Meyer will try to help the cause with runners at first and second and 1 out. Pitch, down and in for ball 1, 1-0. Bokey's got some pretty good numbers this year as a pitcher. He's worked 10 innings and he's allowed only 4 hits. He's walked 5. There's an ERA of 0.9, but small sample size. That run will be charged to the starter, Arriaga. And Nick Meyer takes a fastball inside for ball 2, 2-0. So Alex McKenna's RBI single gives Cal Poly a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nick Meyer 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that misses low and away for ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes with 1 out. The plate umpire was telling Larry Lee to tell some of his players maybe to get back in the dugout towards the end of the dugout. It's a bit picky. 3-0, runners at first and second, and that's inside ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to load the bases. And now head coach Jason Gill asks for time and is walking out to the mound to talk to his pitcher. Boy, I tell you, Jason Gill, he's wearing like a hooded parka. It's not that cold. In fact, it's not cold at all. I know we started out the game at 65 degrees. Or thereabouts. It's right about that now. It's kind of interesting, Jason Gill, when he went out to the mound, he was talking to his pitcher, Bokey, but at the same time, he was pointing out towards right field. I don't know if he's telling him that's where you're going to end up if we keep this up.
Right fielder Bradley.
So now the bases are loaded. Cal Poly is taking the lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning on Alex McKenna's RBI single. And now Bradley Beasley comes up with 1 out and the bases full. As Red Barber used to say, FOB, full of Brooklyns. And that pitch bent in for a strike in the count 0-1. So the bases are FOB, full of Brooklyns. Guess we can just say FOM, full of Mustangs. Doesn't quite flow to say FOCP. So no balls and a strike. 1 down. Pitch comes in. Beasley swings and misses at a breaking ball on the count 0-2. I was having a conversation with a friend where if you could live somebody else's life just for fun, who would it be? And my first thought was Derek Jeter. What a charmed life that guy led with the Yankees, for the most part. 0-2 pitch. Pitch in the dirt, swing and a miss, and it's a strikeout, but it gets away from the catcher, and the run from third scores. Beasley got fooled badly on a pitch in the dirt, and he strikes out swinging. He can't go to first because there's less than 2 outs, and first base was occupied, but everybody else can advance no problem, and they did. As Benning scores from third on the wild pitch, McKenna goes to third and Nick Meyer to second. And it's now 3-1. I first kind of said Derek Jeter is a knee-jerk reaction, but then I changed to Vince Scully. Boy, what a great life that guy led. Yeah. Not just baseball. First pitch in for a strike in the count 0-1. Josh George at the plate. What was he, 67 years the Dodgers announcer? And all around that, through the 70s and the 80s, he was announcing golf and football for CBS, and 0-1 pitch, and that's outside for ball one, 1-1. There was a time when the Dodgers did make the postseason, he was announcing games for national syndication. I think it was CBS Radio at the time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Places he's gone, people he's seen, met, called. 1-1 pitch, fouled back in the count, 1-2. Cal Poly leading 3-1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Both runs in this inning are charged to Brent Arriaga. We can close the book on him. 6 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He is the pitcher of record on the loss side. Next pitch, fastball is high and outside to Josh George, in the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trent Shelton now the pitcher of record for the win for the Cal Poly Mustangs. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Runners at second and third. Cal Poly now 9 hits in the game. 2-2 pitch. Swing and foul out of play. I don't think that 9 hits is correct. 3, 4, 5, 7. No, it's 7. It's 7 because the lights on the scoreboard are kind of cattywampus. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josh George. Cal Poly 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. Loyola Marymount 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. 2-2 pitch on the way to George. He swings and he laces one into right center field. That's going to get down. It's a gapper that's going to roll to the wall. And George stumbles around first base. No matter, 2-run score. He had an easy double, but he fell rounding first base, and he ends up with about a 395-foot single. But he gets 2 RBIs out of it. And Cal Poly leads 5-1. And now Josh George will be coming up. That could be the longest 2-run single in baseball history. As Michael Sanderson comes up, Cal Poly 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now lead 5-1. There's Ted Boeke. Misses low and away for ball 1, 1-0. Sanderson, the 8th Mustang to come to the plate. One ball, no strikes. Pitch to Sanderson, and there's strike 1, 1-1. Boeke came into this game having pitched 10 innings and allowed 4 hits. He's allowed 2 tonight in 1/3 of an inning. Larry Lee juggled his batting order a little bit, and 5 runs and 8 hits later, working out just fine. Moved to first base, and they pick him off. Josh George was leaning, and Boeke picked him off. Well, that's a tough night at first base for Josh George. He stumbled going over first base when he had a sure double, maybe a triple, and then he eventually got picked off.
4 runs, 3 hits, no errors, no runners left on base.
But he got a 2-run single out of it. As Cal Poly scores 4 in the bottom of the 7th inning, and they now lead 5-1. We'll be back in a minute. This is Cal Poly baseball from Learfield. Now the Mustangs have found their way to a 4-run lead by scoring 4 in the bottom of the 7th inning to break a 1-1 tie, 5-1. Now Trent Shelton will keep the baseball, been doing a fine job in relief. He'll have some new fielders behind him. Elijah Skips
Lions, center fielder Billy Wilson.
comes into play first base. And Colby Barrick is in the game playing right field. Alex McKenna, an RBI single, and Josh George, a 2-run single. And then a wild pitch scored another run in that 7th inning as Shelton's first pitch is a strike. And the count 0-1. Billy Wilson at the plate. And looked like he got hit by the pitch, but I think it went off the knob of the bat. So it's a strike in the count 1-1, 0-2, excuse me. No balls, 2 strikes. Billy Wilson 0 for 3. Next pitch, swing and a miss, 4 strike 3. Boy, that's a fast exit for Billy Wilson. As Trent Shelton now out of the bullpen. He's in line for the win.
First baseman Jamie Smart.
As he has gone 2 2/3. He came into the game in the 5th inning after Spencer Howard allowed a 2-run triple. As the first pitch to Jamie Smart is lifted in the air to right center field, and coming over is Alex McKenna to make the catch. Well, Jamie Smart's out on 1 pitch. I've always said a double play ball. They say a double play ball is the pitcher's best friend. I'm telling you, 1 pitch at bat is not far off. You get a guy out with 1 pitch, hey, that's almost as good as it gets. Remember, you don't care about how many pitches you throw or whatever. All you want is outs and quickly as possible. A pitch in for a strike in the count 0-1 reminds me what Marcel Latchman told me one time. He asked me what a perfect game is, and I said, 27 straight outs. He goes, no, 27 pitches. Here's a little line drive into right field, and that's a base hit. So Chavez, his 3rd single tonight. Same thing, 27 pitches, 27
Third
outs.
baseman Brandon Shear.
But his point is well taken. So 2 outs, Cal Poly leading 5-1. We're in the top of the 8th inning, and this ball pretty well struck into deep right field. Racing back is Barrick, and that's over his head. It's going to roll to the wall. That's going to score a run. Shear is rounding second. He's going to third. Here comes the relay throw on a hop. Not in time. So a triple by Brandon Shear scores Steven Chavez all the way from first base. That makes it a 5-2 ball game.
Right fielder Nico.
Boy, so often when a team scores runs in bunches in 1 inning, the opponent comes right back with more. It's only 1, but now a runner at third with 2 outs, and here comes Larry Lee out of the dugout. He hasn't made a move to the bullpen yet. But Trent Shelton was doing well, cruising along. He'd worked 3 innings, and he hadn't allowed a run. In fact, he'd only allowed 2 hits through 3 innings. Yep, there it is, move to the bullpen, new pitcher coming in. But he had allowed only 2 hits and no runs in the 3 innings, and then he gave up a single to Steven Chavez, and then Brandon Shear hit a triple to bring him home, and that'll be all for Shelton. But he still did a nice job, and he's still in line for the win. As he'll exit, and the Mustangs will bring in a new pitcher, and we'll tell you who that is when we come back in a minute with the Cal Poly Mustangs leading 5-2. Loyola Marymount has scored a run here in the top of the 8th and got a runner at third base. 2 outs. We'll come back. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield.
Now pitching.
Slater Lee in the ball game for the Cal Poly Mustangs. Been around a long time, about 4 years. This is senior year. 6 feet, 200-pound senior from Carlsbad High School. As he comes into the game in the top of the 8th inning with a runner at third base and 2 outs. Just watching him take some warm-up pitches, and looks like he dropped his arm slot quite a bit, at least on that last one. Slater has pitched in 6 games this year, all out of the bullpen. He does have a save. In 12 innings, Slater Lee has struck out 15. So he has up those strikeout numbers from years past, and let's see what he has. 2 outs. Here we go. He will face Nico Decolati with a runner at third. He'll go to the stretch. Delivers, and he drops that down. Here's a bouncing ball to Sanderson at third. He gloves, jump, flick, throw over to first base, and 1 pitch, 1 out, and the inning's over for Slater Lee. Well done. You can't ask for anything more than that. That's a beautiful thing he just did. He comes out of the bullpen, he warms up, throws 1 pitch, gets a third out of the inning, and keeps it a 3-run advantage for the Cal Poly Mustangs. On we go to the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher coming in for the Lions. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. A new pitcher in for Loyola Marymount, number 8, Braden Salzman. Straight over the top right-hander, best I can tell from those warm-up pitches. He's done. We'll check him out in just a minute as the Cal Poly Mustangs lead 5-2. Bottom of the 8th inning coming up, Michael Sanderson, Kyle Marinkontz, and Colby Barrick. This is pitcher number 4 for LMU. Brenton Arriaga, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs. He's the pitcher of record. Sanderson swings at the first pitch and hits it high in the air to shallow right. Decolati is under it, makes the 2-handed catch, 1 out. A lot of 1 pitch, 1 outs here in the last inning or 2. Now Kyle Marinkontz will be coming up. Marinkontz got things started for the Mustangs back in the 2nd inning. His RBI single plated Josh George for the first run of the ball game. And that pitch misses for ball 1, 1-0. And Loyola Marymount came back and scored an unearned run in the top of the 3rd inning to tie the game at 1. And we stayed 1-1 through the 4th, 5th, 6th, and top of the 7th inning. And then Cal Poly scored 4 in the bottom of the 7th inning. That pitch sliced into the seats. And the count 1-1. Cal Poly put together 4 runs on 3 hits, mix in a couple of walks. Got an RBI single from Alex McKenna, a 2-run single by Josh George. There's the 1-1 pitch in there, strike 2, 1-2 to Kyle Marinkontz. Marinkontz, sophomore from Valley Christian High School in San Jose. Brendan Salzman, a right-hander. 1 ball, 2 strikes, very compact windup, and he comes straight over the top. There's a ground ball, goes to third. booted by the third baseman. He picks up, throws just in time. Not in time, though, for the players, or for the fans, and even Larry Lee, who's going to jog across the middle of the infield and going to have a little chat with the first base umpire. Only in baseball can you do this, or no other sport, to where the head coach, the manager, or whatever it is, if you don't like a call, he can actually come onto the field of play and talk, yell, scream, throw things, uproot bases. To my knowledge, no other sports you can do that. If you do, you're immediately ejected. You can't do it in basketball. Certainly not in hockey. That would be comical. Letting the head coach get on the ice. Football, forget it. I mean, you can do it in all those sports, but you're gone the instant you do it. Baseball, it's an accepted norm. Part of its charm. But then again, in hockey, they allow you to fist fight, and the referees will just watch until you burn yourself out. And that pitch misses down and in for ball one. 1-0 to Colby Barrick. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. 5-2, Cal Poly leading. 1-0 pitch, down and in for ball 2, 2-0. Barrick, his first at bat today. 2-0 pitch. That hits the outside corner for a strike, and the count 2-1. Well, game 3 tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Bobby I will pitch for the Mustangs. 12:45 airtime. Chris Sylvester will be back and actually take you through the rest of the season tomorrow. Happy to fill in yesterday and today. All you got to do is call. I'm ready. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. Pitch on the way, jammed him, and he fists it foul right back behind home plate. Colby Barrick with a fast bat speed there. He's a junior, transfer from Hancock College, went to San Ynez High School. No batting gloves, one of the few. Here's a 2-2. Swing, and he rips one down the right field line, and he hooks it into the corner. He'll hit first. He'll steam for second. Does he want 3? No. He'll settle for a stand-up double. Well, he smoked that. An absolute laser down the right field line. Where the previous pitch, you could see he had bat speed. And he jumped all over that pitch. So a 2-out double. And Kevin Morgan will come up. Kevin came in as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. After Scott Ogren, a leadoff double, Morgan came up to pinch hit and was asked to bunt, and he did, successfully moving Ogren from second to third, and that got things started, or continued things, for a 4-run 7th inning. And he takes a fastball on the inner edge for strike 1, 0-1. So Cal Poly leading 5-2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. As Colby Barrick at second base dancing all around out there, and the shortstop behind him, Nick Sogard, is coming in, coming out. And then Salzman finally said enough. He stepped off. There's the 0-1. Morgan swings through a fastball and doesn't get it. And the count 0-2. Big looping swing by Kevin Morgan. So no balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Trying to get grand slam protection here if you can get a run home. Morgan was jammed, and he fists it foul out of play. Goes into the Mustang bullpen. But Slater Lee looking for his second save of the season. He needs 3 outs. He threw 1 pitch in relief of Trent Shelton in the top of the 8th inning to end the inning. Got to bounce out to third. It's It's a beautiful thing. No balls, 2 strikes. Lookout, a little bit inside for ball 1, 1-2. Morgan on the season batting .231. He has 1 home run, 1 of 2. He and Nick Meyer have home runs, and they both hit him in the same game. Back in the second game of the season at Cal, and the Cal Poly team has not had a home run since. Runner at second. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Morgan. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Missed a breaking ball, and that ends the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and a runner left on. Cal Poly's got a 5-2 lead and 3 outs to win this ball game. Slater Lee, number 36, jogging onto the mound to make it happen. We'll be back in a minute. What hope is the final half inning with Cal Poly up by 3. This is Cal Poly baseball from Learfield. Well, 3 outs to go. Ball in the hands of Slater Lee. Got a pinch hitter coming up. Kyle Dozier will pinch hit for Jimmy Hill. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Cal Poly leading 5-2. Got some good news between innings. Found out David Nwaba signed another 10-day contract with the LA Lakers. First pitch by Slater Lee is a ball on the count, 1-0. So a second 10-day contract for David Nwaba. Good for him, first Cal Poly player ever to play in the NBA. 1-0 pitch, bouncing ball to Sanderson, backs up, gloves, sets, throws high and over the head of Elijah Skips. And Dozier's going to end up at second base. So 3rd error of the game for the Mustangs, and this one to open the top of the 9th inning. Well, all you need is 3 outs to get a win to protect a 3-run lead. Slater Lee gets a nice, easy bouncing ball to his third baseman, plenty of time. And he airmails it over the head of his first baseman.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for number 9.
Another pinch hitter coming up.
Trevin Esqueda.
Trevin Esquera coming up to pinch hit for Cooper Houle. So David Nwaba, another 10-day contract. Runner at second base, nobody out, top of the 9th inning. Slater Lee. Pitch comes in, and that's fouled back on the count, 0-1. Boy, Slater's really dropped his arm slot from the previous 3 years. I think he was more the conventional kind of 3/4, but now he's kind of somewhere between halfway and 3/4. And I never saw him pitch last year, so he may have been like that last year, honestly. And that pitch is swung out and missed for strike 2. Because I didn't do the games last year. I did one game, the Michigan game. So I didn't see Slater pitch last year. But from what I remember from his freshman and sophomore years, this is a totally different arm slot. Count 0-2 to Esquera. Runner at second, quickly. Slater Lee delivers, and a breaking ball in there, called strike 3. Dandy breaking ball on the outside corner. He backdoored him with that. For that number 9 slot, a thorn in head coach Jason Gill's side. 4 strikeouts between Cooper Houle and Trevin Esquera. Top of the order, Phil Caulfield. 2 more outs for Cal Poly to get their 4th win of the season. And Slater Lee pours in a strike in the count 0-1. So 0-1 with 1 out, top of the 9th inning. 5-2. Alex Klepper will have a scoreboard for you as soon as we're done here. If it would be in 2 more outs, and Slater Lee comes in with another strike in the count 1-2. That Big West Championship game between UC Davis and UC Irvine should be starting shortly. 0-2 pitch. Here's a ground ball to third. Sanderson dives, gets up, throws wide of first. They'll give him a base hit on that. Sanderson will be the first to tell you he should have made that throw, but they'll rule it a base hit, rightfully so.
Shortstop Nick Sogard.
So now runners at first and second. And there's 1 out. Good double play ball being ordered to end this thing. As Nick Sogard will come up, left-handed batter. Slater Lee dips down, brings in a fastball, and that's fouled out of play to the left side in the count 0-1. Sogard a triple today. Slater Lee, the 3rd Mustang pitcher. Spencer Howard, Trent Shelton, and now Slater Lee. Here's the 0-1. There's a hard ground ball, just sneaks it inside the third base bag, and that's going to go into the corner. It's going to score a run to make it 5-3. And now there's runners at second and third with 1 out. Slater Lee threw a pretty good pitch, and he jammed Nick Sogard. And with that aluminum bat, you can still do something with it. And he just snuck it inside the third base bag for an RBI double.
Center fielder Billy Wilson.
And that'll be an unearned run. Not that it makes any difference to anybody other than the stat sheet. There's Larry Lee coming out of the dugout to the mound to talk to Slater Lee. I don't know if he's coming out to get a new pitcher or just maybe to talk to Slater a little bit, because he still needs 2 outs and there's runners at second and third. This might be strategic too. I doubt you'd intentionally walk to put the go-ahead run on base, even though that would set up the double play ball. I think you're really running a high risk by intentionally walking the go-ahead run to first base. But Larry Lee, he hasn't made a move yet. The plate umpire's out there talking to find out what he wants to do, but he's going to leave Slater Lee in the game. Nobody's really hit the ball that hard off Slater Lee this inning. Caulfield did a pretty hard shot. It was a ground ball, but it wasn't terribly hard. But now, Billy Wilson at the plate with the tying runs in scoring position right now in the top of the 9th inning. First pitch, Slater Lee. He bends one in for a strike in the count 0-1. Billy Wilson has struck out 3 times today. Once against Spencer Howard and twice against Trent Shelton. No balls and a strike. Slater Lee steps off. Remember, the catcher, Nick Meyer, he calls the game. Pitches don't come out of the dugout anymore. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball in there for a strike, 0-2. Boy, Slater Lee drops down to sidearm, and he brings that thing in from the third base side, and that's a risky proposition with a left-handed batter because he gets a long look at it. But it worked, 0-2. Here's the pitch from Slater Lee. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Got him with high heat. He threw him about a letter high fastball, maybe even a little above that, to strike him out swinging, and Billy Wilson wearing a golden sombrero today. 4 strikeouts. And Slater Lee's got to go right back at it. Another left-handed hitter, and Jamie Smart. 5-3. Cal Poly in front, but Loyola Marymount has runners at second and third. Slater Lee will come set. Pitch, breaking ball, low for ball 1, 1-0. Smart today 0 for 4. Bounce out to first, lined into a double play, flat out, fouled out to left, and flied out to center. 1 ball, no strikes. Slater Lee trying to nail this thing down. Line drive, center field, base hit. That's going to score 1. Here comes the second. The throw to the plate, not in time. We're tied at 5. As Jamie Smart skips one off of the mound into center field. And Loyola Marymount has scored 3 times here in the top of the 9th inning to tie the game.
The DH, Steven Chavez.
And another little tidbit of bad news is that on the throw to the plate, Jamie Smart ended up at second base. So not only did he get a 2-run single, he ends up in scoring position as the go-ahead run. And Slater Lee's got to get Steven Chavez. And he swings, and it's a bouncing ball to Elijah Skips. He waves off Slater Lee, takes it to the bag, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. But Loyola Marymount scored 3 times to tie it. So now the Mustangs will send up 9, 1, and 2. Brent Binning, Alex McKenna, and Nick Meyer. Here we go to the bottom of the 9th. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield.
For the Mustangs, shortstop, Brett Inning.
Well, the Mustangs giveth. Hopefully they can take it here. All they need is 1 run. All we need is 1 run, Rodney. As we go to the bottom of the 9th, Brett Binning will lead off. First pitch to Binning, a strike. 0-1. Kyle Dozier stayed in the game to play left field, and the new catcher is Nathan Keevy. As Brent Binning waits on the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, 0-2. Brent Binning, Alex McKenna, and then Nick Meyer. 5-5. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Well, he just threw a fastball right by him, and he wasn't close to hitting that. Top of the order, and Alex McKenna.
Center fielder, Alex McKenna.
And the kicker to those 3 runs being scored in the top of the 9th inning, they're all unearned. Ouch, ouch, ouch. As McKenna takes a breaking ball for ball 1, 1-0. McKenna, 2 singles and a double today. He has an RBI and a run scored. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball. Get the letters for a strike without a tie. And the count 1-1 strike. McKenna, who had been the number 3 hitter through the first 13 games of the season. Larry Lee moved him to the leadoff spot to jumpstart the lineup a little bit. It seems to help. Here's the 1-1 pitch and a line drive and a catch by Caulfield at second base on kind of a half to three-quarters dive. McKenna hit it hard, but Caulfield in a good spot to make the catch.
Catcher Nick Meyer.
2 outs and Nick Meyer coming up. Where it looked like Cal Poly was going to get out of here with a 5-1, 5-2 win, something along that line. A couple errors later and a few base hits. Here we go to the bottom of the ninth, and now we're 1 out away from extra innings as Meyer takes a strike in the count 0-1. Elijah skips on deck. Here's the 0-1 from Salzman. Hard ground ball, hits the chest of the third baseman. He picks up, throws to first. In time, we're going to extra innings. Meyer hit it hard. Third baseman knocked it down, picked it up, and threw him out. We're tied at 5. 9 is not enough. There we go to the 10th. Slater Lee back to the mound. This is Cal Poly Baseball from Learfield. Well, Slater Lee's going to keep on pitching. Try to keep this a 5-5 game and get it to the bottom of the 10th inning. Put the Mustangs in a better position to win. As Loyola Marymount scored 1 run in the 8th and 3 runs in the 9th to tie the game at 5. Cal Poly was retired 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 9th. And here we are in the 10th. Brandon Shear, the left-handed batter, will lead off against Slater Lee. Slater Lee, breaking ball is low. For ball 1, 1-0. Shear an RBI triple. As Lee misses again for ball 2, 2-0. His triple chased Trent Shelton from the game. That made the score 5-2. Slater Lee came out of the bullpen at that point. 2-0 pitch, a strike in the count, 2-1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's outside for ball 3, 3-1. I guess from the old Pogo comic strip from way back when, you could say with those 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning that were all unearned, we have met the enemy and they are us. Here's a bouncing ball to Marin Const at second. He almost overran it. He had to glove it on his way by, and he did, and throws to first to get the out. So 1 up, 1 down, and Nico Decolati coming up. And a swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. So 0-1 pitch, and that's low and away for ball 1, 1-1. Slater Lee, 1 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, all unearned. No walks and 2 strikeouts. He's actually pitched well. I know he gave up that hard single to Jamie Smart that allowed 2 runs to score, but that never should have happened. This ball well struck into right center field. Alex McKenna going back, and it hits the warning track, and one hops the wall. And going into second base with a double. Right as I say that, Slater Lee's actually pitched well. He gives up a one-out double. So a go-ahead run at second base here in the top of the 10th inning.
Left fielder number 32, Kyle Dozier.
Well, and here's Kyle Dozier coming up. One down. See how Cal Poly plays this. Dozier, left-handed hitter. Runner at second, Slater Lee's pitch. Here's a bouncing ball. It gets through into left field, and they're going to send the runner. Here comes the throw to the plate on a hop, the tag, and he is out at home. Josh George came up throwing, and a perfect one-hop throw to Nick Meyer. As Decolati tried leaping over Nick Meyer's tag. And that's the second out of the inning.
Catcher number 2, Nathan Keevy.
Dozier ends up at second base on the throw to the plate as well. He should. That's the only upside for Loyola Marymount. But that was just a big bouncing ball to left field. Dozier didn't hit it that hard. He just put it in a good spot. So 2 outs in the top of the 10th. And the first pitch, line drive into center field. That's a base hit. McKenna fields it on the hop. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's high and over the head of the catcher, Nick Meyer. And Loyola Marymount has the lead 6-5. McKenna had a chance. I think a good throw, and it would have been real close at home. But he threw it over the head of Nick Meyer, and it was very, very high. And again, on the throw to the plate, Keevy ends up at second base. Okay, now Larry Lee coming out of the dugout, and that's probably going to be all for Slater Lee. Boy, it's come undone here at Baggett Stadium. Cal Poly once led 5-1, and Loyola Marymount scored a run in the 8th, 3 in the 9th, all unearned, and 1 so far here in the 10th. And Loyola Marymount has a 6-5 lead. New pitcher coming in. We'll come back in a minute. It's Cal Poly baseball from Learfield. Now right-hander Craig Colin into the game for the Cal Poly Mustangs. Colin, a sophomore from Lowell High School in the Bay Area. 6'3", 380 pounds, and they just need him to get an out. He comes in relief of Slater Lee. Slater Lee now the pitcher of record for the loss if the Mustangs don't come back and at least tie it in the bottom of the 10th inning. But Colin's going to have a hard time because he's got to face his pesky little hitter, Phil Caulfield, who has singled twice today Had a single yesterday and 2 walks. So he's been on base about half the time, which is his on-base percentage coming in. As Loyola Marymount has taken the lead 6-5 here in the top of the 10th inning. As Colin has only pitched in 4 1/3 innings this season. Right-hander delivers a fastball for a strike and the count 0-1. Colin in the 4 1/3 innings has allowed 2 hits, struck out 3 and walked 1. 3 relief appearances prior to this one. Caulfield, left-handed swinger, 0-1 pitch. He takes another strike in the count 0-2. Looking to the bottom of the 10th, it'll be Bradley Beasley, Josh George, and Michael Sanderson for Cal Poly. Colin, runner at second. Here's the 0-2 pitch. High, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2. Here's the pitch from Colin. Swing and a little pop-up. First baseman Elijah Skips is under it. He's got it, and that's the end of the inning. Colin, nice job out of the bullpen to get the only man he faces at the end of the inning. Loyola Marymount, they get another run. And they now have the lead 6-5. As we go to the bottom half of the 10th inning, the Mustangs will send up the 3, 4, 5 hitters. Here's the 1 run. This is Cal Poly baseball from Learfield. Well, the Mustangs only need 1 to at least keep this thing going to the 11th. Sure, you prefer 2, but you know, you take 1. Elijah Skips. I think I said Bradley Beasley was leading off. It's Skips. Skips' first plate appearance today, as he's leading off the bottom of the 10th against Braden Salzman. First pitch, here's a ground ball right to the shortstop, who's shaded up the middle. 1 pitch, 1 out, as Skips is thrown out at first base. Salzman has now retired 5 in a row, and 7 of the 8 he's faced. He allowed a double to Colby Barrick, a 2-out double, but that was it. He's retired 7 of the 8 batters he has faced. Now Josh George will try to find his way on base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Straight over the top, Salzman with a fastball, misses low and away for ball 1, 1-0. Thing is with Salzman coming in, here's a guy that had pitched 7 innings coming in, as George lifts one in the air to shallow center field. Coming in is Billy Wilson, and he makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning, and the Mustangs are down to their last out. And that'll be Michael Sanderson. Yeah, Salzman came into this game having pitched in 7 innings, and he'd allowed 14 hits. And he had walked 3. That in 7 innings. and he's retired 8 of 9 today. Breaking ball misses for ball 1-0. So he found his stuff today as the Mustangs are down to their last out, trailing 6-5 in the bottom of the 10th. They've been out hit 13-9. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball almost hit him. You should have taken that for the team. You lean into that thing to get on base. 2 balls and no strikes now. Sanderson 1 for 4 today. Here's the 2-0. He swings and he fouls it back and out of play, 2-1. Cal Poly was up 5-1 after they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. And then Loyola Marymount scored 1 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th to tie it, all 3 unearned, and then 1 in the 10th to take the lead. Now the Mustangs down to their last out. 2-1 pitch, foul tip, catcher hangs on. Now they're down to their last strike, 2-2. Lex Klepper will have a scoreboard for you here momentarily if this game ends real soon. Good end on this pitch. 2-2 pitch. And that's in the dirt for ball 3, 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sanderson with Kyle Marinkontz on deck, doing what he can to get on base. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's a 3-2. Swings and he hits a little soft line drive into left field, and that's a base hit. A little hope off the bat of Michael Sanderson.
Second baseman, Kyle Marinkontz.
And now Kyle Marinkontz comes up, so the tying run on base. With 2 outs, 6-5 ball game. Cal Poly down by a run here in the bottom of the 10th. Salzman comes set, pitch to Marinkontz, and he takes very high for ball 1, 1-0. They've played about 7.5 minutes at the Honda Center. And right now UC Davis is leading Irvine 10-4. Almost 8 minutes gone. Trying to get the automatic bid to the NC2A tournament, UC Davis or Irvine. Visit out to the mound to Braden Salzman. As Cal Poly has the tying run on base here in the bottom of the 10th inning. There were 2 outs and nobody on him. Michael Sanderson singled to keep things alive. Now Kyle Marinkontz will try to do the same. He can rip one down the right field line, and Michael Sanderson's going on contact with 2 outs. And Marinkontz takes a fastball for a strike in the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Marinkontz, an RBI single way back when in the 2nd inning. Looks like Larry Lee's going to bring in a pinch runner. Yep, he is. Coming out of the dugout is Austin Dondonville.
Pinch running for number 12, Sanderson. Number 40, Austin Dondonville.
So Austin Dondonville, pinch running at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike to Marinkontz. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Boy, he took a big rip at a fastball. So now Cal Poly down to their last strike again. They were with Sanderson, but he kept things alive with a single to left field. That was a 3-2 pitch. This is a 1 ball, 2 strike pitch coming up. 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Marinkontz. He swings and he lifts it in the air to center field. Billy Wilson waiting. He's there. He's got it. And they win. As Loyola Marymount wins the ball game.
Total scores for
Came from behind. They were down 5-1 going into the 8th inning.
6 runs, 13
They ended up winning it 6-5.
Cal Poly 5 runs, 10 hits.
Tough loss for this one as Loyola Marymount clinches the series, winning yesterday and today. 4-0 last night, 6-5 today.
Losing pitcher Slater Reed, his record 1-1.
We'll send it to Alex Klepper back at the studios of ESPN Radio 1280. Then we'll bring it back here for a quick wrap
We hope to see you tomorrow
with all your final totals and everything. But the final score, Loyola Marymount 6,
1 o'clock.
Cal Poly 5. It's all you, Alex.
We've got a